What's going on, fellas? Back again, hanging out here in the back of the truck, talking some fishing tips because everybody's getting the itch to go fishing. States are opening up, boat ramps are opening up, and you guys need to get on the water, and I need you to get on the water. I need to get on the water. We all need to get on the water. But today's video is all about how to help you catch more and bigger fish. That's right, more and bigger fish. And I've got a tip for you. Pretty simple. So first of all, just hang with me for just a few minutes. It's not a long video at all. But I'm gonna spill the beans on some stuff, okay? I thought about, like, what could I title this video? What could I title this video? And in my mind, I'm thinking, like, okay, I wanna give you guys the nugget. 3 nuggets. 3 baits that catch giant bass, 365, and I don't care where you are, right? Because look, let's face it, you can go to California and throw a gigantic swim bait that's like 16 inches long. That's not going to work in Texas or in Georgia or some of these other places, right? You know, you can come down here to South Florida and get a big 2-ounce tungsten and go punch hyacinth mats in the wintertime and catch big fish. But guess what? That doesn't work in Oklahoma, okay? So these are going to be 3 baits. These are my go-to 3 baits to catch big giant bass all year long, okay? So first, let's get right into it, okay? And secondly, before you go anywhere, we're giving this stuff away. So all you got to do is just drop a comment down below and say, hey, I would love to try these baits. I would love to try whichever one you want, okay? So we're going to go through the list like we've been doing and pick out a few winners, not just 3, a few, like maybe 7 or 8, okay? So check that out. All you got to do is drop a comment down below, like the video, and please share the video. Okay, let's get right into it, okay? So here is the deal. Number one, I designed this bait. And that's not why I'm talking about this bait. This is not sponsor inspired, okay? Like, these are legit 3 things that catch big fish 365. Now, one is a frog. I don't care what kind of frog you throw, a Spro frog, a Bass Pro Shops frog, or a live target like I have right here. Okay, this is the one I designed for live target. I literally designed every aspect of this frog. It's a hollow belly frog, heavy duty hook. It's got a little popper right in the front of it, which is nice. Right there, that little concave front is great for popping. Okay, it's a popping frog. I love this thing. I love it pretty much year round, except for winter time, right? Winter time, it's not good, but fall, it's excellent. Summer, awesome. Spring, around the spawn, at the end of the spawn, really, really good. Now, let me tell you a couple things that you need to know about frog fishing, guys. Okay, look, we all know that a frog catches big fish. I'm not really telling you anything super secret on that, right? But let me tell you some do's and don'ts real quick. Let me just show you and tell you how to rig this thing up, because the worst thing you can do is rig it up improperly and you're not going to land the fish. Number one, you need a good heavy duty rod. This is a Pro Series 7.3 heavy. It's a good all-purpose rod. I like the 7.3 over the 7.6 because I like to skip it under docks. I like to give it those little twitches around the lay-down trees. I'm a little bit more accurate with a 7.3. I can just give the bait a little bit better action as well. Number 2, I want a high-speed reel. It's a favorite reel, 8-to-1. It casts well, and I've got it rigged up on, very important, very, very important, braided line. Now, I'm using the P-Line X braid. This is 50-pound test. I don't like to throw 65 too much on the frogs, only because you lose a little distance and a little action, right? That 65 is a little thick, a little big, and you just get better action, better walking, subtle little things with that frog, better with 50-pound braid. And you're not going to have a problem with 50-pound braid. Check your knots, make sure you don't have any frays in your line. You'll do just fine with 50-pound braid. Now, where do I like to throw this? Of course, frogs are close to the bank, grass beds, things like that. Now, right now on Lake Okeechobee, we're out on the lake, and we're actually catching them around the bluegill beds. So we're going around, we see bluegills in the area, bluegill beds, big shiny spots, taking this frog, twitch, twitch, boom. That's right, they're blowing up on it and they're choking it. So check this out, guys. This is my frog. I love it. I'll trim the legs a little bit, usually, just trim it a little bit off. So I'm gonna throw this frog pretty much year round, not in the wintertime when it's cold. So I did say 365, so let's change that to 250 days out of the year. 250 days out of the year, you can throw the frog. The other little bit, not so much, okay? So that's that. I love it. Color-wise, you know, you can play around with different colors. That's a yellow and white. Here's a green. They have black ones. I actually prefer the black one a lot. I throw the black one a lot. In the fall, I throw lighter colors like the white, all white in the fall, or these like this with a little white on the bottom of it. really, really good. Springtime, around the bluegills, I'm throwing the blacks, I'm throwing the browns, stuff like that, kind of a little bit better look. Okay, now, who can guess what the next bait's gonna be? I know you're probably here looking behind me and you see one of them tied on right there, right? Okay, so let's pull out this right here, the old deck system right here. I've had this deck, by the way, guys, this exact deck system in my truck 4 years now. This exact one, like, I mean, it's beat up. I mean, but it's held up. So if you guys are looking for a bed organizer, if you're looking to kind of trick out the bed of your truck, it's waterproof, it holds up well, it doesn't, zero issues ever. Check it out. So anyways, jigs, okay? Jigs. I have a whole gigantic box of jigs. They come in lots of shapes, lots of sizes, and let's see what we've got here. You know, there's a football jig, which I catch a lot of fish on. A little bit different. I do catch big fish on a football jig though too. So it is a big fish bait, but I don't throw it for big fish as much as I just throw it to catch a lot of fish. But a jig, you know, it's like you can go into an area like here on Okeechobee, for example. You can go into an area here and you can flip like a creature bait. Like you can flip, you know, anything. And you can go back to that same area and get, you know, say they get 20 bites. And they're gonna range anywhere from 1.5 pounds to however big. The big ones bite the creature baits, great. But there'll be various sizes. And you put on a jig, guys, like I've got right here, this little flipping jig. This is actually a Guggen bait flipping jig right here, a little juicy jig. You put this dude on and it's like, you don't get as many bites. It's one of those things, that's what a jig's for. You hear about people talking about, it's the go-to big fish lure, right? You need to call a fish out. You need 1 or 2 big bites to win a tournament. Put down the soft plastics, guys, and pick up a jig. You're gonna cut your bites down dramatically, but it's just crazy how, on average, they're so much bigger. And that's what happens. I don't get it. I really don't. It's just a bigger, bulkier profile. You know, those jigs in the water, they undulate. That skirt material poofs up, so it's a bigger profile, and it seems to scare away those smaller fish. Like, they just don't seem to jump all over it. Now, this is just a green pumpkin one here. I would use this a lot more like in Georgia, Alabama, clear water situations. You know, that color right there. But a color that I throw here at Okeechobee, and I actually have it rigged up right now, is the black and blue. That one right there, guys, I actually took this on Lake Okeechobee not too long ago and completely destroyed them. We were flipping the reeds. We just killed them. It was so much fun. Matter of fact, take a look at some of this footage. Let's bite. Jiggy poo, jiggy poo, jiggy poo. There. A little better. Dude, this jig is pretty freaking awesome. I think Lake Fork designed it, or had a lot of input, I would say, and they like it. I like it. So this is black and blue. I like black and blue here in Florida. You know, that water's kind of a tannic color, and I just like black and blue, and the fish like to react to black and blue in this color water. Now here on Okeechobee and in South Florida, a lot of times I'm rigging up on straight braid. This is 65 pound here, a little bit heavier. I'm fishing around those reeds. But if you're fishing a jig, say at Lake Lanier, for example, you're not gonna wanna throw braid, and here's why. Braid is great for getting those fish out of the thick cover, right? But braid is so limp that when you flip it into the target, it falls straight to the bottom. It doesn't glide forward. It falls straight to the bottom because this braid, this 65 pound braid, is very limp and it falls straight down. So it's really great when you're target fishing here on Lake Okeechobee, where you're trying to flip it up there by the pad root or in the little hole in the reeds. You flip it up there because of the limpness of the braid, the jig will fall straight down into the bottom, into the strike zone. But on other lakes like Lanier and just other lakes, right, you want somewhat of a glide to your jig. So when I flip it up by the dock piling or I flip it up to a lay down tree, I want that jig, instead of falling straight down, I like it to glide slightly. When it glides slightly, I think it emulates a crawdad or even a bluegill, right? Crawdads and bluegills don't swim straight up and down, right? When I'm flipping here at Okeechobee, it's usually around the spawn. I'm trying to get a reaction strike. I'm trying to get that fish to bite it right off the bat, and I need the braid to kind of get them out of that heavy cover. Now, if I'm just flipping around things like lay down logs and dock pilings, then that monofilament or fluorocarbon, which I'm going to use like the P-Line Tactical 17 or 20 pound, is going to make that bait glide slightly. Just that little bit of forward glide just is a more natural approach for those fish. Now, talk about how to rig it up. I've just got it rigged up right there. All right, so now you ask yourself, what trailer am I putting on the jig? You know, I like something that swims. Now, here's my rule though. I do like a non-action trailer, like getting like a Zoom chunk, super chunk that really doesn't have a lot of action to it. It's really just more of a glide. And I'll throw the Zoom chunk in the colder weather. But when it's normal weather, right, I'm throwing the Kraken crawl because it has a lot of action. And I'm just going to thread it up on the hook. A lot of people wonder, how do you do that? Just thread it up on the hook. And let me show you a little tip. Let me show you a little tip. See the little guard right here? This is the little piece of lead that holds that plastic on. It even has this little metal hook as well. So you have a double bait holder right here on the shank of this hook. Little tip for you, okay? A lot of people think, just stick it up there, right? Just stick it up there. I do one little extra step, okay? And it's gonna help save trailers. It's gonna help from that trailer sliding down the hook. I slide it on there, get it right up to where I'm gonna push it on. You can see it here and here. I turn the baits completely sideways at this point, okay? Very important, sideways. 90 degrees to where it's gonna end up resting. Then I push it up, okay? Push it up, 90 degrees, look at that. It's sideways, okay? Now, I come back to center. Okay, now what that did, when you pushed it in and turn it sideways, then go in, it cuts a groove in the plastic sideways, then I turn it back level and I lock it in fresh plastic, okay? Does that make sense? So it works out really, really well by doing that, okay? So just push it in there and lock it over and you're good to go. And rod wise, I mean, I'm flipping this jig on a 7.6 Pro Series right here. Guys, that's a heavy action. It gets the job done. And again, I like a high speed reel. Last but not least, oh yeah, this little dude right here. And I don't have the bait on there quite yet, so we'll make this kind of quick, okay? If you want to catch big fish, truly 365 days out of the year, get you some of these, boys. I designed this bait as well. I designed every aspect of the Bandido bug. That dude right there, you've seen me at Kentucky Lake. I've Carolina rigged it with big fish. I've flipped it here at the first tournament of the year, the Bassmat. Yeah, here. Does it work? Take a look at this. Yeah. Whew. That was crazy, huh? So this thing right here gets it done, guys. 365, Texas rig, done deal. I like, you know, just depends on the colors. I'm going to Oklahoma in about 2 weeks. And I'm going to be throwing this color right here a lot. Green pumpkin, a little orange. That works great out there in those muddier lakes, you know, river systems. That right there, deadly. Now again, I've got it rigged up on braided line right here. And again, if I go out and I'm trying to fish it around cover, lay down trees, come and buy stuff, I might throw it on some 20-pound fluorocarbon. So again, pick your right line, pick the right rod. This rod right here is a Big Sexy. It's a 711 heavy. It might be an extra heavy actually. 711 extra heavy, Big Sexy, and it's good to go. So guys, it is starting to rain. I need to get out on the water and do a little fishing. But hopefully those 3 baits right there will help you put big fish in the boat year round. We'll see you guys. We got to go. Bam!